von Gothas of the German Air Circus. I have identified you as an enemy aircraft. You have 10 seconds to surrender before I blow you out of the sky.
Trelane, but I thought we'd seen the last of you.
Captain Kirk, that is not the way for mortal enemies to greet each other on the field of battle. Of course you hadn't seen the last of me. I am Trelane, the humble Baron of Gothas.
Humility is not something that I would associate with you, Trelane.
Oh, this is wonderful. The sarcastic banter of determined foes just before a battle that only one of them will survive.
Put an end to this farce at once, Trelane.
If you insist.
You have a way of trying my patience, Trelane.
How rude of me, Captain. The Baron von Gothas is never rude. Let us put an end to your impatience.
Go home, Trelane, before you get in trouble again.
My dear Captain Kirk, I'm not the one who is in trouble.
Didn't your parents punish you enough, Trelane?
My dear Captain Kirk, I'm not the one who is in trouble.
I suppose we're going to get another tantrum from a runaway child with too much power for his own good.
It is unwise to provoke me, Captain. The dreaded Baron von Gothas owes allegiance to no one.
Mortal enemies? When are you going to grow up, Trelane?
Not for several millennia, I'm afraid. Of course, the Baron von Gothas does not have to aspire to such lofty heights to defeat his latest victim.
You were responsible for what happened to the Zimbabwe?
Was that one of the valiant pilots who is now confined in my dungeon? Perhaps you wish to join him.
We'll see who the victim will be, Trelane. No matter how powerful you are, your arrogance and your immaturity will always be your downfall.
And one of your feeble lineage and pathetic nationality cannot triumph over a humble aristocrat of Gothas. Was that an adequate insult for a mortal enemy? It will have to.
Why don't you aspire to lofty heights and leave us alone?
And miss the opportunity to settle an old score? Captain Kirk, didn't anyone ever teach you about diplomacy or manners? There are times when I really question your breeding.
Stop playing games, Trelane. Leave my ship alone.
Really, Captain? You don't know how to have fun. Games are the joie de vivre, the joy of life.
I'm quite capable of having fun without you or your games, Trelane. As a matter of fact, my life would be far more enjoyable without either of them.
Captain, you wound me. Naturally, I must wound you in return.
I don't need a translator, Trelane, and I don't need you.
But of course you need me, Captain. Think of your reputation. James T. Kirk, the man who shot down the dreaded Baron of Gothas.
I don't aspire to such mediocrity, Trelane.
Oh, pity. But then you weren't going to win anyway.
A reputation in a fantasy has no relevance, Trelane.
We shall soon see, Captain, what is a fantasy and what is reality.
Go away, Trelane. Leave us in peace.
Peace? But we are warriors, knights in the sky, the Hun in the sun, gallantly clashing in the air above no man's land. This is war, Captain.
Do your parents know that you're having fun? Last time we met, they promised to punish you for having fun with us.
You need not concern yourself with that, Captain. This time, we will not be interrupted. This time, all accounts will be settled in full.
We surrender.
Do my ears deceive me? The great Captain James Tiberius Kirk surrenders? Obviously, this is a clever ruse, but not clever enough. To battle!
Don't be such a poor loser, Trelane.
No, Kirk, you cheated. And you're going to have to be punished. Your insolent ship will have to be punished as well. But only you will bear the full brunt of my revenge.
Your quarrel is with me, Trelane, not my ship. If you're going to punish anyone, punish me.
Oh, you will be punished, Captain. I shall show you and your closest officers that cheaters never prosper.
No thanks. We'll need all of our wits if we are to defeat Trelane.
While I'm on duty? Are you serious?
Not as good as Steel Magnolia. Perhaps later. You carry it, Jim.
Vulcans do not drink.
He needs to loosen his Vulcan ears a little.
I have observed numerous occasions, Doctor, where you have regretted your indulgence in alcoholic beverages.
I've heard of people treating their weapons like people, but this is ridiculous. I don't believe Mr. Spock appreciates anyone trying to break his equipment.
That is correct, Commander.
If you think you can get out of your next physical by breaking my tricorder, you're mistaken, Jim.
Captain, that is not a useful course of action.
Jim, I don't believe in using schnapps for medicinal purposes. Now, Romulan ale.
You covered the stick with schnapps.
It's not firing.
The phasers have been completely drained of energy.
Courtesy of our charming host, no doubt.
No doubt. Well, gentlemen, if we're going to beat Trelane, we'll have to beat him on his own terms.
The odds of being able to restore power to a phaser by hitting it with a bottle of schnapps are too low to calculate. The communicators are functioning, Captain. If there were other Federation personnel on this planet, we would be able to communicate with them.
Provided their communicators haven't been confiscated or the persons are in any physical condition to answer.
I did not wish to state the obvious, Doctor.
Ha! The phrase, physician, heal thyself, has always annoyed me. James T. Kirk, slightly heightened levels of adrenaline, but otherwise normal. Lieutenant Commander Ellis is showing heightened levels of stress. Mr. Spock, I can never tell what's right and what's wrong with these Vulcans.
Well, I thought I could start a fire and try to get someone's attention, but I guess the straw is too damp.
Kirk, we're going to need all of our wits if we want to survive. Put the alcohol away. Kirk, we're going to need...
Keep it down, Schweinhund!
I can't seem to force this door open. This lock is tougher than I'd expect for this time period.
Fascinating. The door is securely locked, Captain. I am unable to open it.
Does anyone have a safety pin?
A what? I don't think so.
I can't seem to force this door open. This lock is tougher than...
Fascinating.
Keep it down, Schweinhund!
I can't seem to force this door open. This lock is tougher than I'd expect for this time period.
Fascinating. The door is securely locked, Captain. I am unable to open it.
Does anyone have a safety pin?
A what? I don't think so.
Do I look like an Olympic athlete to you, Jim?
This shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's a very primitive lock. Damn. I'm afraid it is a problem.
Captain, I believe we need all the light we can get. It is not an advisable course of action.
The bottle bounces off the light bulb without shattering.
The logic of this action escapes me, Captain.
Is this how you treat security officers on the Enterprise?
Ouch!
Are you trying to speak softly, Jim?
What's going on here?
We should leave this building immediately. The proximity of this fire to a large concentration of alcohol puts us at considerable risk.
What's going on here?
We should leave this building immediately. The proximity of this fire to a large concentration of alcohol puts us at considerable risk.
Don't do anything foolish.
Find another way, Captain. Panicking is the worst thing we can do. Find another way, Captain. Panicking is the worst thing we can do. I thought that was my job.
Do you think the Baron cares if you burn to death?
Who is this Baron? Trelane?
The noble Baron Trelane welcomes you to his humble home.
Humble. It's burning. We've got to get out of here.
You have a point, Kirk. Go. I will be following.
Trelane, noble? That pompous egomaniac.
I should shoot you where you stand for such insolence. Instead, I shall watch you burn to death.
The guard says nothing, but he stares intensely at you as the rising flames are reflected in his eyes.
Why don't you just shoot us and get it over with? Or did Trelane have a reason for sparing our lives?
Be patient, Kirk. The noble Baron of Gothos shall reveal all in good time.
Of course, if we burn to death, he won't have a chance to gloat.
You have a point, Kirk. Go. I will be following.
I'm not interested in your opinion. Where's Trelane?
In his castle. But it will not be easy to see him, Kirk. He is a very busy man.
It depends on whether he likes his prisoners rare, medium, or well done.
American humor leaves me cold, Kirk.
It looks rather warm to me. If we stick around, it'll get even warmer.
You have a point, Kirk. Go. I will be following.
I'm not interested in your opinion. Where's Trelane?
In his castle. But it will not be easy to see him, Kirk. He is a very busy man.
I do not understand the human need to add inhibiting chemicals to their bloodstream.
Later.
I can't say I've ever tried schnapps.
I'm a doctor, not a bartender.
I will not accept a drink from someone like you.
I have always made it a policy to lead landing parties and share the risk with my men. I suppose you've never lost someone under your command, Commander. You've never felt the loss of a subordinate while you've been on a landing party?
I read the transcripts of Ralph's death, and I'm not satisfied with the way the situation was handled.
Mister, we're in a life and death situation. And the more grief I get from you, the less chance we have of surviving. We can settle this later.
I'll be a model officer, sir.
When you become a captain of the starship, you'll have every right to judge me. We're in the middle of a life and death situation. I expect you to act like a Starfleet officer.
No one has ever accused me of not acting like a Starfleet officer. I have nothing to prove to you, Captain.
I'm not interested in proving anything. I'm interested in getting back our ships. If we're fighting amongst ourselves, we'll have no chance of that. Do I make myself clear?
Perfectly, sir. Why are you talking to me? You can beat that old man over my dead body, Kirk.
There's a fine line between necessity and savagery, and I don't intend to cross it today.
Put that stick away, Jim.
Maybe later. I do not feel like drinking right now.
You know the Baron's orders are that you are to be served in the armory. You are not to enter this establishment.
Everyone knows, Fraulein, that the Baron's orders were never meant to be taken seriously. Even by him.
Looks like trouble.
Excuse me, but if the lady wants you out, then you should get out.
I won't have trouble in my place. Get out. I will be bringing beer to the armory later tonight anyway.
I don't know who you are, but we had better not meet again.
Nice guy.
Hello, soldier. Wouldn't you look good with beer on your face?
I won't have trouble in my place. Get out. I will be bringing beer to the armory later tonight anyway.
I don't know who you are, but we had better not meet again.
That's what I like about you, Jim. I never have to worry about getting into trouble when you're around. Captain, I think the lady would take offense if we were drinking someone else's brew in her restaurant.
This is rather poor schnapps. I should be offended that you would offer me such a brew. But I'm quick to forgive, Colonel Kirk.
I am more fond of beer than schnapps, Herr Kirk. It is fortunate that Fräulein Gretel has such a superb brew.
I do not drink anything more potent than beer.
They appear to be bolted to the wall.
I'm afraid they were never meant for actual use, Colonel. They're nothing more than decorations.
Another trophy for your collection, Captain.
It is unlikely that a severed animal head will help us against Trelane.
It's probably a good idea if we keep our distance, Captain.
Captain, I do not require your assistance at the present time.
I don't think you need a doctor right now, Jim.
It looks like a real keg of beer.
Colonel, if you want some beer, just ask.
Not while I'm on duty. I don't think so. Our safety is not endangered here, Captain. Attempting to subdue people will only make things worse. Captain, I see no reason to act against Miss Gernsbeck. She's a little assertive for the time period, but that's a point in her favor.
Vulcans do not consume alcohol, Captain. I recommend against aggressive action in public unless we have no alternatives. I do not believe the Fräulein is an enemy, Captain. It would be unwise to take aggressive action against her.
McCoy has drugged the beer.
Never use medication unless it's absolutely necessary, Jim. They really need to cut down on the amount of beer they drink, but I'm not about to start treating them without permission. Jim, that woman definitely does not need a doctor.
I'd rather watch the game.
I do not believe this is an appropriate time for drinking.
Trelane's beverages never had any taste to them, Jim.
I don't want anything from Trelane, including his cheap imitation of alcohol.
You're not trying to get me drunk, are you, Herr Kirk?
I'm not a drinking man, Colonel.
Nein, Herr Kirk. Drinking and gambling are not a good combination.
If you want to beat someone, Captain, try poker.
Human male in fair physical condition, less beer and tobacco would make considerable improvements.
Planning on harassing the natives? Do you always make enemies this easily, Kirk?
I recommend against actions that might be interpreted as hostile, except in self-defense.
Captain, Starfleet security officers are not permitted to use physical force unless there is a credible threat. This person is not presenting one.
That is not a useful activity.
I wonder if they have any Kentucky bourbon in this shop.
Not now, Kirk.
I've tasted water with more flavor to it.
My boss would fire me if he caught me drinking this.
I think being captain is finally going to your head. Shouldn't we leave discipline to the boys' parents?
Captain, we've seen that Trelane has had backups for his power objects before. I'd suggest that purchasing this object and trying to find a way to use it against Trelane would be a more useful course of action.
I'm trying to help you the best I can. Please don't tell Mr. Ulen that I'm not doing my job right.
Captain, we have more important things to do than babysitting.
He seems healthy enough for a boy his age. Save it for Trelane. No, on second thought, hanging's too good for him.
Very funny, boss.
I was joking.
A new toy, Captain!
I'd better not. I don't want to put on weight.
But there's nothing wrong with it. Please don't return it.
Thank you, Captain, but Vulcans are capable of going for weeks without food or sleep.
Yes, and I've seen what that can do. I think it's a little raw, Jim.
Looks good, but I think we better cook it first.
I like candy canes too.
Absolutely tasteless. I see Trelane's culinary skills have not improved.
You aren't thinking of trying to keep the doctor away, are you, Jim? I always hated pickles.
Fine, then we won't get any.
Captain, I'm real uncomfortable taking items without permission. Starfleet regulations specifically require us to comply with local customs unless it violates our Starfleet oath.
Thank you for the reminder, Commander.
Captain, even I'd have trouble lugging that cast iron monstrosity around.
If Trelane has his way, we'll soon be kicking the bucket.
Maybe I shouldn't take it. The last thing Trelane needs is ideas.
I'm sorry, sir, but those shoes have already been purchased.
Don't think we have to steal this kid's shoes to defeat Trelane, Jim.
Please don't take that clock. My boss would be so upset if something would happen to it.
We do need the clock.
It's like some bizarre game. Perhaps Trelane is putting us through mazes, watching our moves, and laughing at us.
We can't give Trelane any excuses, any reason to think we've cheated. We'll find the money to buy this clock and stick it down his throat if we get the chance. I don't think so.
The logical thing to do is to have Dr. McCoy treat the animal.
I'll have to get near it. Spock, does the Vulcan nerve pinch work on a Doberman?
Poor thing. I had a pet named Sasha once, a Zerbian husky. The thing shed like crazy. Starfleet didn't assign me for unnecessary violence against animals. We need to find a way to cure it, not hurt it.
Your point is made, Mr. Ellis.
If you can come up with a suitable distraction first. I don't think he's interested, Jim.
I don't think it wants to fetch, Captain. I don't think the dog will let us get close enough to use it.
Jim, it's not even noon.
I think there's a Starfleet regulation about this somewhere.
No.
Captain, you know this is not the time for this.
Stop that or I'll deck you.
I see no reason to test the rope.
I must be real bored.
Just think of it, Captain. Only one security officer for you on this mission. It must be unusual to have so little protection.
Don't try to provoke me, mister. You may regret it.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know. It seems like I'm carrying excess baggage on this mission.
I don't know what you mean, sir. I really don't need a drink right now.
Maybe I should have become a bartender after all.
I believe the human term is no thank you, Captain.
I don't need to relax. I need to stay alert.
I was never very fond of schnapps, Colonel. My wife liked it, though.
Captain, that's no way to treat someone's pet. Captain, that's against regulations.
The cat appears to be docile. Herr Eckhart has not shown himself to be a threat. I do not understand why you wish to restrain him.
I think the cat would prefer string.
The floor is quite dirty.
You know, this floor could be cleaner.
I must be getting lazy in my old age, Colonel. If you were to sweep my floor, I would pay you a little money.
Do you like living here, sir?
It's home, and it's been home for 40 years, Colonel. Gringold likes it. And what's good for him is good for me.
This doesn't seem to be working.
It hasn't worked in several years, Colonel. There haven't been many good recordings lately, so I haven't missed it much.
Captain, we have no reason to remove this object.
The floor still looks dirty.